Joining me is Emily Davies-Robinson from United for Literacy. Welcome, Emily.
Thanks, Anandi. It's great to be here.
Tell me more about what is United for Literacy and what's the overall goal?
Yeah, so United for Literacy is a national charitable organization, and we provide free, accessible literacy and numeracy support for children and youth all across Canada. So you can find us from coast to coast to coast. Here in Waterloo region, I manage our programs, and we work with children and youth. We have 5 volunteer-driven partnership-based programs that we run alongside other local agencies such as the YMCA Immigrant Services, Somali Canadian Association in Waterloo Region. We also run a program with Waterloo Public Library. And then in Guelph, we actually also have programming. One of our larger partners is Immigrant Services of Guelph Wellington.
And you are the community coordinator for Guelph Waterloo.
Correct.
And do you have any standalone programs, or do all your programs run with a partner, the ones you mentioned?
Yes, so here, one of the great things about our organization is that we very much tailor our program models to meet the needs of the communities that we support. And so we do work a lot with partners because they're the ones who know their communities, and they're the ones that are able to help us, you know, in terms of deciding which program structures will work. So we don't work exclusively with partners throughout the country, but here in Waterloo Region and Guelph, we are very partnership based.
And in that way you can focus where the need is, I'm going to be repetitive, where the need is most needed,
exactly.
Right? Where the help is most needed.
Exactly.
So let's just to put all this in context, what are the statistics for literacy in Canada, let's say for children and adults? Do you have those stats?
Yeah. So nearly 1 in 8 Canadian children and youth are not receiving literacy, are not performing at literacy levels that are to their grade level. So that means that there's almost 1 million children, in fact, over 1 million children nationwide who are struggling in terms of their literacy development. In terms of adults, there was a recent OECD report which showed that nearly 1 in 5 Canadian adults are struggling in terms of being able to reach the literacy levels needed to perform daily tasks. So that can range from reading a prescription bottle to applying for a passport, you know, or even submitting a job application. Something as important as that, we have nearly 1 in 5 adults who are unable to do so.
Okay. And does your organization or any of these studies maybe say a cause for these sort of statistics?
It's a complex issue. It all relates to the social determinants of health. So ultimately, we see poverty as one major factor, but there's also others such as, you know, we have a large number of newcomers when they come to Canada. They may experience difficulties in terms of acquiring the English language, in terms of not receiving the resources and supports they need to be able to you know, develop fluency or a confidence in acquiring the English language. So we see that as being a major barrier. There's also you know, diagnosed and undiagnosed learning disabilities. So it really, there isn't one issue, but what it comes down to is that literacy touches every single aspect of our lives. So yeah, it is multifaceted for sure.
Right. And a lot of your focus, a lot of your resources go to literacy for children and youth. What can parents be doing to help their children with literacy?
Yeah, so studies have shown that even a child reading 15 minutes a day can make a significant impact in terms of their literacy development. So making literacy part of your daily routine is really important. So, you know, I know a lot of parents, we read to our child before bed, but even, you know, before school, you know, finding that time, those like, you know, the fringe hours are really great, or if you can make it so it doesn't feel like a routine, a chore or a routine, just something that they naturally want to do.
And even 15 minutes just goes a long way.
It does. And, you know, I know for me growing up, we went to the library, that was part of just how what we did as a family every week, but I understand it's not maybe something that's accessible for all families. So There's also the local library systems, KPL, WPL, Idea Exchange. They all have, Guelph Public Library, they all have online reading platforms that you can access through their websites. So I also encourage, if you do have access to a device, e-reading platforms such as Tumblebooks, they can be really useful too.
Tumblebooks, yes.
Love Tumblebooks.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
We use Tumblebooks in our programs,
right.
virtually, and the learners, they're more comfortable with it than some of the volunteers. Like, they're teaching our volunteers a thing or two about, accessing these platforms online.
Very cool. Now, you have online resources for adult literacy. Can you tell us a little more about that?
So locally, we work with children and youth here in Waterloo Region and Guelph, but nationally, we do have an online adult tutoring program. So if that is something that you want to access personally, or in terms of volunteer support, if that age group is something that appeals to you, you can reach out and get involved there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, Emily, I've been listening so carefully to everything you're saying, and a word you've used, I think at least 5 times, is the word volunteers or volunteering.
Yeah.
They seem to be the backbone and a big resource in this organization. Tell us more about what volunteers do, and how can someone get involved?
Yes, so United for Literacy is very volunteer driven. We couldn't do the work that we do without the support of our amazing volunteer tutors. We had about 165 volunteer tutor placements this past year, and the need is growing, and we could use even more. So we are in the process of our spring volunteer recruitment for our upcoming programs in May and June. If this is something that appeals to you, if you want to get involved, we definitely encourage you to reach out. We will also run programming in summer. We kind of run on semester basis, so we do intake about 4 times a year. But if you are interested, I'm sure we'll talk about how to get in touch with us. But we definitely want you to reach out, and we'll follow up.
And as you said, summer, would you feel like summer gets to be a really busy time because of because the kids are off of school?
Yes and no. Like, we do run programs in the summer. Our big push is definitely during the school year, so that's when we need the most number of volunteers locally. But in the summer, we do run some programs, with the Waterloo Public Library, and some that work with newcomers as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Good to know. So I want to make sure that our viewers know how to find you. What is the best way to get in touch for United for Literacy? What are the platforms where people can reach you?
Yeah, so you can reach United for Literacy. You can check out our website, www.unitedforliteracy.ca. There you can look to our volunteer inquiry form. So at the top of the website, you'll see an option to click to send an inquiry form. And then once you do that, it will come to either myself or one of my colleagues here locally, and we will follow up with you. So the best is through the website, www.unitedforliteracy.
And if you're looking for those sort of literacy services, that's a great point of contact.
Yes, so you can certainly find out more about our other programs, nationally on our website as well.
Gosh. I have had such fun talking to you today. Thank you for joining me.
Oh, thank you, Anandi. It's been great speaking with you.